Welcome back to Candy's Classic Game Shrine, everyone, and today on Tinker Time DIY, I'm going to be showing you how to make a Virtual Boy controller into a USB controller using this retro USB adapter. This turns any controller into a USB controller using this little module here. And you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, nothing fancy, obviously your Virtual Boy controller and your module, a pair of scissors, a soldering iron, and some solder to go along with it. So without further ado, let's get started. So next up, you're going to take your controller and turn it around. Then you're going to grab your screwdriver. It's the Phillips head. Don't know if you can see it here. Let me see if it focuses. Not really, but you're going to then locate the screws here, and here, 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 there, and there. And that's it. Alright, now that your controller's unscrewed, gently lift up the shell. Might have to pry it open a little bit. Mine was a little stubborn. But once you pry it up, the bottom half of the shell should be able to come right off. Mine is a little dirty. This is something I just recently purchased, but it's nothing a can of air can't fix. This here is the part of the controller we're going to be working with, particularly these wires right here. So next up we have to prepare and shear the wires. Okay, so it is time to cut this wire here. I'm going to grab my scissors and give him a snip. Just remember, it's best to cut it longer than needed, because if it's too short, you can't do anything with it once it's cut. Now I have to undo this little knot that they have here at the base of the controller, because now, once this is undone, we are going to be taking a razor blade and cutting along this black housing to get to the wires underneath the sheath. I like using a razor blade rather than scissors because it gives me better control over where I'm cutting on the wire. Alright, for this part of the video, you're going to be dealing with the USB portion and both sides of it. This side, you're going to want to take the wires from here. The black and the blue wires are what you need. And you're going to put the black wire on the second prong and the blue wire on the third prong on this side. Now when you flip it over to the side with the chip, you're going to want to take the brown wire from the controller and solder it to the second pin, the orange wire to the third pin, and the yellow wire to the fourth pin. Now take note that I didn't mention anything about the red one. The red one is not needed, so you can snip the red wire. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to have to make a little modification to the back of the controller. These plastic tabs here and here need to be removed. That's so that when you replace the USB module into the new controller, that they fit. You can use a razor blade, but I don't recommend it. It's not the easiest. I actually recommend using cuticle cutters. Okay, and now we will be soldering the blue wire to the third pin here. And we will be taking the black wire to the second pin right there. And don't forget to strip the wires. And voila, well, at least this half of the board is completely soldered and finished. Here's a closer look for you in case you need one. Okay, now you're ready to put the wires onto the board. Right over here, you're going to be working with these 3 pins. You're going to want to take the brown wire and put it on the second contact. You are going to want to put the orange wire in the 3rd contact, and then the yellow wire is going to be on the 4th contact. So as you can see, I went ahead and put some solder on the board. I also went and stripped the wires and added some solder to them as well to make the adhesion process go much quicker. Now pat yourself on the back for a job well done and put away the soldering iron. Now you just take the wire and gently route it through, tucking it where it needs to be. The best thing to do is to use the existing wire clip on the controller. It generally fits perfectly, if not a little snug. It'll take a bit of fiddling. Mine did. Okay, and now it's assembled and a proper USB controller now. There's really nothing left to do except for replacing all of the screws that you took out. So don't forget to get those and to put those back into your controller. Here's a little test of the concept while playing Vertical Force on my Virtual Boy emulator. This is a pretty good game actually. But if you guys want to make your own, I'll leave a link in the description to retrousb.com, which sells the USB modules to convert your controllers. And I'll leave a link in the description to a Planet VB member by the name of Dog P. He runs a website which has the write-up for this, and that's projectvb.com. So thank you for him for doing that write-up, and until next time guys, take care.